Stunning archaeological find silences those who deny Jesus Christ ever existed. Christ's tomb is in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. This is a cross-section of that church, the area of Golgotha, the site of Christ's tomb, Golgotha Rock where he was crucified, the current church, the inner chamber, everything in cross-section. You can see that this church was built over all of these sites, which were hundreds of yards away from each other. This church is a huge church. Now, more and more liberal atheists are succeeding in painting the Bible-believing Christians as morons who believe in fairy tales and myths. But as advanced in archaeology continue to unearth solid evidence of the Bible's veracity, it's atheists who are looking increasingly foolish for refusing to acknowledge what's right in front of them. A favorite attack on Christians is the argument that Jesus Christ never even existed, that he's just a fictional character written to encourage good behavior. But as a number of scholars and experts found, there is ample evidence that not only did Jesus exist, he was just as prominent the first century in Jerusalem as the New Testament tells us. From the Christian Post, quote, "There was incredible discoveries that were being made in New Testament studies that were just revolutionary." This is what Robert Hutchinson, a scholar who spent years in Israel studying the New Testament, told the Christian Post in an interview. He says, "I found that nobody was talking about this in the media. They were still repeating theories about Jesus and the Gospels that are a century old. The idea that Jesus was a deluded fanatic, an apocalyptic prophet who thought the world was going to end in his lifetime." End quote. One of the main arguments furthered by secular scholars is that there is no proof that Jesus or anyone else mentioned in the New Testament actually existed. However, Hutchison wrote that discoveries of ossuaries, burial boxes in 1990 and 2002, make that argument moot. In 1990, construction workers uncovered an ossuary of the high priest Caiaphas. After analyzation, Hutchison said that almost all archaeologists accept that Caiaphas' ossuary is an authentic ossuary. It also believes that some scholars that an ossuary discovered in 2002 is a burial box of James the Just, who many Christians believe is either the half-brother or cousin of Jesus Christ. Although some New Testament scholars, such as Ben Witherington and Herschel Shanks, believe that the James ossuary is authentic, others are not completely sold on its authenticity. However, Hutchison argues that the discovery of the Caiaphas ossuary and the potential authenticity of the James ossuary is enough to quell the scholars' claim that there is no proof that anyone mentioned in the New Testament ever existed. Now, what ossuaries are is that they're little boxes, about 1.5 feet by a foot. And what they used to do in ancient Israel is what they do many times in Greece as well. After the 3rd year of burial, the bones of the deceased are cleansed and removed from the tomb and put into an ossuary. That's where the bones are kept. And there is a certain place in the cemetery where ossuary boxes are kept even today, in Greece, for example. And that's what used to take place in Israel as well. And this change from the tomb to the ossuary box, where the bones of the deceased were placed, took place 3 years after the death of the person. So that's what Jesus Christ meant, "Let the dead bury the dead," when one of his believers wanted to go and bury his father first. That means the reburial from the original tomb to the ossuary box. And it's a proper thing because there are more prayers said during that time for the deceased soul to rest in God. That's why Jesus said, "Let the dead bury the dead." The dead spiritually can take care of that. You come and help me rebuild my church and bring people to faith in God. And that's why Jesus said, "Let the dead bury the dead." It was the burial from the tomb to the ossuary box. So I'll leave a link below for you for this on Conservative Post.